In the heart of a busy city, where people's ambitions often hid darker motives, a story of love and danger unfolded. Jim Jones, a name known around town, was a man of influence and charm. But behind his smooth, confident appearance, he hid a web of control and manipulation. Brooke Bailey was a rising star in the fashion world, admired for her stunning looks and strong drive. Her career was taking off, with big contracts and spots in famous runway shows. When she met Jim, her life began to change. At first, she was drawn to his confidence and power, swept into a passionate romance that seemed full of excitement. As their relationship grew, Jim brought Brooke into his world-exclusive parties, glamorous events, and connections with powerful people. She felt thrilled and alive with the new opportunities. But as time passed, the shiny surface of Jim's life began to crack, showing the darker truths hidden underneath. Jim's temper was unpredictable, flipping from warmth and affection to jealousy and anger, leaving Brooke feeling vulnerable and trapped. She kept convincing herself that his behavior was just part of love, hoping that their love could overcome the problems. But deep down, she felt something was wrong, a small voice of doubt. Then, one evening, Jim's son appeared, a young man caught in the messy legacy of his father. He had seen the chaos firsthand. The son had grown up watching his family's power and influence, but he also saw the damage it caused to everyone around them. He carried a heavy burden, knowing the dark side hidden behind Jim's charming smile. After a heated argument between Brooke and Jim at a fancy event, the son found Brooke alone in a quiet corner. His voice shook with urgency as he spoke to her. "You need to leave him," he warned, his eyes filled with fear and determination. "If you don't, he'll ruin your life. I've seen it happen before. He knows how to break people, emotionally and mentally, until you feel like you're nothing." Brooke's heart raced at his words, a cold shiver running down her spine. The honesty in his eyes cut through her defenses, exposing the fragile reality of her situation. She had ignored the warnings before, believing she could handle Jim's unpredictable moods. But now, the seriousness of his son's warning hung over her like a dark cloud, demanding her attention. Days turned into weeks as Brooke wrestled with what to do. Every moment with Jim felt more suffocating, and the glamour that once excited her now felt like chains tying her to a life she didn't recognize. Memories flooded her mind, how Jim controlled her schedule, kept her away from friends, and masked manipulation as love. Each memory wore down her courage, but inside, she still struggled with what to do next. Brooke tried to convince herself she could change Jim, that love would be enough to fix the cracks in their relationship. But the more she held on to that hope, the more she felt trapped. The son's warning echoed in her mind, urging her to see the truth she had been avoiding. At a lavish party, surrounded by laughter and clinking glasses, Brooke reached her breaking point. She watched Jim charm the crowd, his smile captivating everyone around him. But when their eyes met, a chill ran through her. In that moment, she felt like she was caught between the man she thought she loved and a reality that was slowly suffocating her. Taking a deep breath, Brooke made a decision: she would confront Jim. The next day, she found him in his office, the air thick with tension. "Jim," she began, her voice shaky but determined, "I can't do this anymore. This isn't love, it's control." The confrontation was explosive. Jim's anger flared as he realized she was serious. He hurled threats and insults, desperate to pull her back under his control. But Brooke stood firm, strengthened by what his son had told her and by her own experiences. She could see the truth now. The power he held was just a mask hiding his own insecurities. As she walked away from Jim and his world, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Brooke was finally free, no longer a prisoner to someone else's control. Brooke was finally taking back control of her life, ready to shape her own story. The threat Jim posed was real, but so was her determination. In the days that followed, Brooke discovered a newfound strength. She threw herself into her career, reconnected with old friends, and embraced the independence she had once set aside. It wasn't always easy, but each step reminded her that true love should lift you up, not hold you down. In the end, Brooke's story became one of empowerment. It showed that even in the darkest times, the strength to break free is within. Shadows may linger, but the light of self-discovery shines brighter, guiding the way toward a future built on her own choices. In the heart of a bustling city, where ambition often hid darker motives, Brooke's tale of love and danger unfolded. Jim Jones, a man known for his charm and influence, was well known in town. But beneath his charismatic exterior was a web of control and manipulation. Brooke Bailey, a rising star in fashion with fierce determination and striking looks, had a career on the rise, with major contracts and runway shows. When she met Jim, her life took a different turn. At first, she was drawn to his confidence and power, swept into an exciting romance. As their relationship deepened, Brooke became enchanted by Jim's lifestyle. Jim introduced Brooke to glamorous parties, exclusive events, and powerful circles. She felt alive, thrilled by the attention and new opportunities. But as time went on, the shiny surface of his world began to crack, showing the darker truth underneath. Jim's charm could turn in instant moments of affection would quickly become episodes of jealousy and anger, leaving Brooke feeling vulnerable and trapped. She often excused his behavior, hoping love could fix everything, but deep down, a feeling of unease grew, a whisper that something was terribly wrong. Then, one fateful evening, Jim's son stepped into her life. He was a young man caught in the turmoil of his father's legacy, shaped by the lure of power but also scarred by the damage it caused. He had seen his father's dark side firsthand and carried the weight of that knowledge. After an intense fight between Brooke and Jim, the son found her alone in a quiet corner of a lavish event. His voice trembled with urgency as he spoke. "You need to leave him," he warned, his eyes a mix of fear and determination. "If you don't, he'll ruin your life. I've seen it happen before. He knows how to break people emotionally, mentally. He'll make you feel like you're nothing." Brooke's heart raced, and a cold shiver ran down her spine. The truth in his words pierced through her defenses, exposing the fragile reality of her situation. The sincerity in Jim's son's eyes cut through Brooke's defenses, exposing just how fragile her situation had become. She had brushed off warnings before, convinced she could handle Jim's unpredictable moods. But now, his son's words weighed on her like a dark cloud, forcing her to confront a truth she could no longer ignore. Days turned into weeks as Brooke wrestled with her decision. Each moment with Jim felt more stifling. The glitz and glamour she once loved now felt like chains, binding her to a life she no longer recognized. Memories of Jim's control over her schedule, the way he isolated her from friends, and the manipulation disguised as love flooded her mind. Each memory chipped away at her strength. Despite her doubts, Brooke kept trying to convince herself that she could change Jim, that love would be enough to mend their relationship. But the harder she clung to that hope, the more trapped she felt. Her thoughts echoed with his son's warning, urging her to face the truth she had been avoiding. Then, at a lavish party filled with laughter and clinking glasses, Brooke hit her breaking point. She watched as Jim charmed the room, his smile captivating everyone. But when their eyes met, a chill ran through her. In that moment, she felt trapped, caught between the man she thought she loved and a harsh reality that was smothering her.